Well, good
All right.
afternoon, Zinwin. Thank you for joining us.
Yes. Good afternoon. How are you?
I am great. My name is Dontaira Terrell, and we are going to jump right in and get started because we have so much to talk about. You have so much going on, so want to make sure we,
Yes.
still have time to talk about it all. But my first question, well, congratulations on your Home Essentials line. And I saw,
Thank you.
yeah, I saw that many of they were sold out, like 3 months supply
Yeah.
was sold out.
Yes. Yes. I am so forever grateful to everyone for purchasing Onyi Home Essential candles. We are officially sold out, but not for too long. We will be restocking very soon for the holiday season, so you guys can get all of our signature scents as well as some surprise scents we have coming out as well. So, yes, loving it.
Well, actually, can you describe the feeling when you learned that your candles sold out?
I,
Like people were
I,
receptive.
s- I screamed. Sometimes people may not know this, but for me, even with what I do in my career, I sometimes feel like I suffer from imposter syndrome. And it's like, why would you be able to start a home essential line? Who would even buy your product? What makes your product good? And so I went into it like, okay, this is just something that I like to do, and hopefully people buy it. But if they don't, that's okay because I didn't want to let myself down. But then once I saw people were buying it and people were, giving reviews and saying they enjoyed it, I mean, it was just the most humbling feeling because sometimes we don't think we're enough. And the truth is, you are. You are enough. You are. You just have to share your talents with the world.
Wow. I think that is definitely something that many of us struggle with, imposter syndrome. I was just telling
Yeah.
somebody recently that I had like an interview opportunity and I was about to pass up on it. I'm like, no, I'm not ready. I'm not prepared. And it was like a great interview. And I was like, what was I thinking? Why would
We
I do
do
that?
it. We do it. Sometimes we self-sabotage ourselves, like, oh, I don't belong here, or this is beyond my skill set. But sometimes you just have to take a step and then the rest will work itself out. So for anyone looking to chase their talents or their dreams, I'll say go for it. Just take the first step.
Yes. And I appreciate you using your platform, especially on the show, and showcasing the complexities of your career, being a businesswoman,
Mm,
being a political analyst, being a professor, and just showing the many facets. You don't have to limit yourself to just one lane. And what people
yeah.
have instilled in us about success, we're like unlearning that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Don't let anyone put you in a box. Your ability to achieve is limitless. You should never be in a box. Just go for it. Whatever it is, go for it. You define yourself.
Right, exactly. And the show only gives us like a glimpse of certain aspects in terms of bringing your Home Essentials line to life. So we saw the photo shoot, we saw the business plan initially, but I'm curious, what were some of the other ups and downs that you experienced with just trying to bring everything together?
Product development, it's a candle, but there's so much that goes into it. Is it going to be, what type of wax are you going to use? What type of container are you going to use? What type of lids are you going to use? So much goes into it. Or even just the scenting phase. Just because something smells good doesn't mean it'll burn that same way. So there's so many different aspects to the process, and even though it wasn't shown, I still had to go through it. And there's smells that I loved, and then other people are like, "What is this, girl?" So it's definitely a process for all business people going into this to be an entrepreneur. But I'm glad I went through it because it makes you appreciate the destination more. There's beauty in the journey. There's beauty in the struggle, and it makes you appreciate it more.
Mhm. Sometimes it doesn't feel like it's beauty in it, but that end result, when you achieve
Let me tell you something. There were many nights and days I was like, okay, y'all can have this. I don't, this is completely fine. But you have to keep on going. No matter what, you have to keep on going. And if it's something that it's in you, if it's something that you really want to do, then you gotta keep on going no matter what.
Mhm. And it says that your line was inspired. Well, one of the aspects that your line was inspired by was your travel to different parts of the world. So, can you tell me, like, what's your favorite place and why that you visited?
Oh, that's hard. So yeah, that's really hard. So of course I'll have to include Nigeria in my final round because I am Nigerian American. But my husband and I really loved Italy. Our daughter, her middle name is Capri, is actually named after one of our favorite places in Italy. But I would say a hidden gem is we went to Montenegro. It's so breathtaking. It's so breathtaking. It's somewhere where people may not go, but we went there and it just had the mystique of an old enchanted world, like a time before us, and the buildings, and then oh man, it was lush. It was so beautiful. So I would definitely say Italy, Nigeria, and Montenegro.
Nice, love it. I didn't know your daughter's middle name was Capri, but I love that.
Yeah. Yes.
And also, you said that while many aspire to make history, I love this quote from your site, by the way. While many
Okay.
aspire to make history, Wendy understands that the true prize in life is to create a legacy. So, what is your
Yes.
legacy?
You know, I, for me, my legacy is my children. My legacy is creating human beings that are going to be amazing, not in what they necessarily achieve for themselves, but in what they give back to the world. So I take pride in my children just being kind, gentle, compassionate humans. And I think if we put more emphasis on the attributes that the next generation has, it can really change the landscape of the world because so many people just aren't kind. And that matters for me.
Does that scare you a little bit? Raising such kind and compassionate children, and then the world is just cruel at times and evil, and you're like,
Yes,
mhm.
it does scare me. I would be lying if I said I didn't because it's almost like a group project. You're doing your part, but how about if another parent doesn't do theirs? And so it's hard, but you have to do what you are comfortable with. And I'd rather have children who are compassionate and who are kind and put that out into the world than preparing them for a world that we currently exist in. I have a book coming out. Pre-orders are available now. It's called Tears of My Mother, a legacy of my Nigerian upbringing. And one statement I put in there is I think sometimes as parents, we raise our children for the world that we live in and not for the world that they're going to live in. And so I hope that my children's world will be better than ours. So I'm okay raising them to be kind and compassionate with the hopes that their world will be better than the world we currently live in now.
I love that. And, speaking of your mom, what is the lesson you have learned from your mother that you hope to instill in your daughter as well?
My mom is, uh, she raised us for the majority of her life as a single mom. She was the immigrant who came to this country looking for a better tomorrow. I was at my mom's college graduation. And the reason I say that is because I have seen her go through so much, and each time she comes out with her head held high. And my mom always taught me tough times don't last, only tough people do. And so no matter what I'm going through, no matter how hard it is, no matter how much I want to just get away, I know that everything is temporary. And if you just stay the course, the sun will come out again. So that's the biggest lesson she's given to me, as well as the power of prayer. She's
Mm.
very big on that as well.
Yeah, for sure. And with the holidays approaching, I have to ask,
Mhm.
are there any popular traditions like within your culture that you practice?
Well, um, I don't know if this is cultural in that sense, but as far as a culture within our family, we always put up the Christmas tree while blasting Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas Is You. My kids are like 8 and 6 and 2, and they know all the words to this song. I mean, they can sing it backwards, and that is our little tradition. And we always try to go to Christmas Eve mass at church before we get into the materialistic aspects of Christmas. We always make sure we do the spiritual part and the religious part. And that's it, just being around each other. I love the holidays. It changes my mood. My husband, he asked me the other day, he said, "What's your favorite holiday?" And I said, "It's Christmas." And then I said, "It's because with Christmas, it's not just a day, it's a feeling.
Mhm.
And it's the only holiday that gives you a certain feeling." And I love it. I love the holidays.
And I love the holidays too, just from seeing the excitement of the kids. You see things through a different
Yes.
lens. So what you were stressed out before, you're like, I don't want to take their innocence or their excitement from them. So you know what? And it, yeah, like you said, you're in the mood and the spirit, you know?
Yeah, it does. I can just sit on my couch. I don't need to open not one gift. I could sit on my couch with a nice, little Irish cream, Bailey's Irish cream, and watch my kids open gifts for hours and just to see them smiling and happy. It's a mood. It's like, it's the best feeling. It's the best feeling.
It is the best feeling. And you know what?
Yeah.
You brought up your husband, Eddie, and you recently celebrated 10 years of marriage. So
Yeah.
that is a major milestone.
Yes.
So, what advice can you offer, dating advice for women right now who are trying to find that life partner and reach that 10-year marriage milestone?
Well, I will say, two things. One, don't look at anyone else's timing. No, your timing is yours and yours alone.
Mhm.
And embrace that. And enjoy the moments that you are not in a relationship, because once you are in a committed one, the hope is you'll never be by yourself again. So enjoy getting to know yourself. There's beauty in being single. But once you are in a relationship, I would tell, all women, marry your best friend. And I mean that, because you guys are going to have to weather some of the toughest storms together in your marriage as well as your personal lives. You guys are going to grow with each other. You guys are going to experience highs and lows. I know my father passed away. It was my husband who was there. You need someone who will definitely be by your side when it's beautiful and when it's dark. So make sure you marry your best friend, because it's so much fun. Like, we joke all the time. Like, when people see us, uh, they will say, "Oh, I thought you guys were brother and sister," because we're always joking with each other or joking on each other. I clown him all the time because that's my best friend. And, just make sure you marry your friend.
Yeah. Look, life's too short not to be with your best friend or laughing.
Right. You gotta laugh. You gotta laugh. Not everything is serious. Like, just laugh. This world that we live in, there's so much going on. You just have to create a space with someone who loves you and you love them, where all you guys have is happiness and joy and respect for each other. That
Mhm.
matters.
That really does. That definitely matters.
Hmm.
And you've been very vocal about your plastic surgery on the show. You're,
Yes.
yeah, you're looking good. Okay.
Thank you.
Now, but also in addition to that, you also practice the inner work, the self-love. It wasn't just about your outside appearance, it's also the beauty that exudes from within. So
Yeah.
sometimes women get their surgery and they think that's a fix-all for everything, and they're lacking
Mm-mm.
in the self-love department. So is there any
Mm.
advice that you can offer them?
I would say work on the self-love before you get the surgery. I didn't get mine until, I'm in my not my late 30s. Yeah, my late 30s. But you have to work on knowing yourself. It's sort of to that earlier question you said about, what advice I'll give on relationships. And I said, well, first of all, love on yourself. Know who you are before you even get in a relationship. You have to love yourself, because when I tell you, plastic surgery doesn't change how you feel about yourself, or the way you feel about other people, how you treat other people. It does it. It's just an aesthetic. It's nothing more, nothing less. And so we have to, as women, especially women of color, love on ourselves in a society that oftentimes doesn't love us. You have to know that you matter, you exist. You have to know that your presence is a present to anybody who's around you. And whether or not that comes with double D boobs or what have you, that's just extra. But who you are is a strong queen. And people need to know that. But more importantly, you need to know that. So love on yourself so much that nothing, including plastic surgery, can ever change how you view yourself. It's just a decoration, nothing more, nothing less.
Mhm. And that's very good advice for many people. And this is actually my last question. Now,
Okay.
yeah, you spoke on the show about colorism and you posted a little bit about colorism. Now, can you recall like an early experience outside of the show when you experienced colorism and how did it affect you?
Yeah, I think that colorism is such a nuanced topic
Mhm.
because it doesn't just exist within the Black community, it exists globally, where there are these standards of beauty that are based on European centered aesthetics. And it is what it is. So I remember when you know, I'll never forget this. I remember when I walked into a building in college. This wasn't my first experience, but this is just an experience. I walked into a building in college with one of my friends who were fairer skinned. And I remember we both had, I had like books, she had books. And when I walked in, the professor was coming out and he said to my lighter skinned friend, the classes are canceled for today. And then I said to him, I said, "Oh, so are they canceled for tomorrow?" And then he looked at me and he said, "I don't think you are a student here." And I said, "Why wouldn't I be a student here?" And it was so awkward, but my friend was so fair that she could maybe pass, right? And
Mhm.
she had her eyes were a different color and everything. And so in that moment, I realized that there is this standard where this dark skinned woman walks in and you automatically think that I wouldn't be getting an education. And just for context, my school is based in North Philadelphia. So I was taken back by that. I mean, I have examples in elementary school where um, I had, teachers who would pick fair skinned women in my class and say how they look like Cinderella and for them to, play the role of Cinderella. And then the darker skinned people, we would play like the ugly like aunties or whatever. And I'm just like, hold up now. I'm fly. I was fly back in the day, so I don't understand why I'm playing the ugly auntie. So that makes sense to me. But these things happen, and we have to address it as a society because it exists. It really
Mhm.
does.
I'm trying to I have nieces, so I'm trying to
Mm,
yeah, instill that self-love, that confidence, that just all of that into them.
yeah, you have to. I have a daughter, and every day I give my daughter, and my advice is everyone just affirm young women.
Mhm.
Affirm them and let them know that they're beautiful, but not only that they're beautiful, but that they're smart. So my daughter and I go through this mantra, and I say, "Pretty, pretty." She says, "Yes, mommy." I say, "Smart girl." She says, "Yes, mommy." I affirm her every day because if you go out into the world looking for other people to affirm you, that's where sometimes some of our women get lost. You
Mhm.
have to have that in you, and that starts at a young age. And as a mom, I feel like it is my job to be the first person who tells her that, along with her dad. Her dad, oh God, he spoils her rotten. So
Yeah, I had the most beautiful conversation with my niece. I was like, I said I love you, and she was like, "Oh, I already know that." And I was like, "Oh, you did
mm,
like the fact
yep,
that she knows that she feels she didn't have to question it," and I was like, "Yes, I'm doing my job
you're
as long
doing a
as
good job.
yes,
You're
made me
doing
feel."
a good job. We have to do it. That's right. We have to do it. And even if it wasn't done for us, it doesn't matter. We have to make sure that this next generation starts off better than we do. That's that self love. You have to tell them you love yourself. You can't have these young girls out here looking for love in all the wrong places. No, you are beautiful. You are loved. And if some knucklehead out there doesn't love you, it's fine because your aunties, your mommy, your cousins, we love you. We
Yes,
appreciate you and we respect you.
that part as well. Yes. Well, thank you so much. This was amazing, and
Oh,
congratulations again on everything. And you look flawless,
oh, thank you.
beautiful.
Oh, you look great. Thank you. You're so sweet. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Thank you for joining us.